So good to be with Sean Salisbury from snowy Houston. What the hell is that like? I mean, that's got to be a nightmare.
It was weird, man. I mean, it's weird. If we get a little rain here, people start to trip out, right, Grant? I mean, and add like 4 to 6 inches of snow. I mean, I woke up not this morning, but yesterday morning. We can't get to work the last 2 days. Roads are closed. 6 inches of snow, like a blizzard, Houston style, which is weird. When I see like Pensacola Beach in Florida and there's snow on the beach,
Unbelievable.
It's a weird thing. Yeah, it was, but cold, chilly. But like today, it's like 30, high 30s. The snow's starting to melt, but it's crisp. But when it's not windy, it's it's playing weather like those two teams are going to face this weekend. So all's good here, man. But it was a trip and back to 70s sooner than later, hopefully, so I can get back on the golf course. It put a monkey wrench in my game, brother.
Sean, you and I grew up in an era where it was unheard of to have a rookie quarterback in the NFL succeed. It just didn't happen. And then all of a sudden, Dan Marino came by. And he was the first, in my memory, legitimate rookie quarterback that had success in the NFL. And then it didn't happen again for quite a while. Jayden Daniels, is he the best rookie quarterback you've ever seen? And right now, today, is he a top 5 quarterback in the NFL?
I was in this same conversation with myself and on our show every day last year with Stroud. You remember the year he had? People were saying the exact same things. 2 different strengths. The Stroud, big arm, intermediate, great thrower, poised, underrated athleticism, pocket guy, and elevated players. And then this year it's, and big body. You get Daniels, good size, but phenomenal feet, poise, a lot of the same things, but their strengths are a little bit different. Yet they kind of skin the cat different ways, but they're both really good. So I'd love to say, Grant, we're seeing it more now. I mean, think about the year Jayden Daniels had, and then look at Bo Nix and Drake May on a bad team, how he elevated some play. And you start to think about they're getting more reps, they're playing more, and we're treating them like, get out there, take care of your business, let's go play. And our expectations, and you are right, Marino, and then it took a while. Manning struggled as a rookie. Aikman had his struggles as a rookie. Elway struggled as a rookie. We're talking about like where you come in and it's true success, not spot success, where you, quite frankly, are a big reason, if not the reason, they're where they are. So the last 2 years I've seen it, and, they'll try to figure him out a little bit, but I can tell you this, that from watching him, Grant, find me a weakness in his game.
I can't.
Aside from right. And that's how I do it.
You want the poise that he has for phenomenal. A rookie is absolutely, to me, mind-boggling.
And it's you watch and he acts the same with success and failure on the field. You know what I mean? Incomplete pass, not that big a deal. To me, the best quarterbacks in the world in between series and kind of when they're getting things, enthusiasm's great, and so is, getting pissed once in a while. But there's this thing that Warren Moon had when I was a teammate of his that I never could tell what kind of game he was having. If I wasn't looking at it, literally, if I just look at his response, I couldn't tell if Warren had just thrown 3 picks, which he didn't do very often, or threw 5 touchdowns, which he did. He was really good at it. And so Daniels has this trait about him.
Yep.
And he's spectacular, his accuracy. But Grant, think about this. When he left Arizona State and went to LSU, every single year, and I've monitored, I'm talking about damn near watched every throw he made in college, if not every throw. He has gotten better every year. And he got better this year. And he improved on his deep ball throw in his last year at LSU, which was a weakness the year before, taking those chances. He's elevated all the way around. People around him are better. But the poise and accuracy stick out, and the ability, it's the poise under pressure that's impressive. So I saw a lot of great stuff that told me that Stroud, and a lot of people had him as a top 5 quarterback, and he took a little step back, and they did. They had him as a top 5 quarterback, a little step back. He's still learning and adjusting, and things change, but he's got that in him. So I'm not going to throw Daniels in the top 5 yet, because that's a list of Allen and Jackson. Not Allen Jackson, the country singer, but Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen and Mahomes and Burrow. And, there's probably, but if you're asking me right now, Sean, over the next decade, are you taking him in your top 5 to 10? The answer is yes, because he's got those traits you can't teach. And he's got the traits that can get better and improvement with solid mechanics. I love him. And I think he legitimately gives the Commanders a chance to win the thing. I do.
I do too.
I think. I mean, the advantage when it comes to Philadelphia and Washington, I know Philadelphia advantage at home. But if you're asking me right now, if it's a throwing game, what quarterback I want more, it's not close.
I
and
agree.
I have respect for Jalen Hurts. So, yeah, Grant, I am, what's the word? Blown away a little bit.
Yeah, of course you are.
Accurate, just as accurate. So we're seeing more of these rookies impact, but this isn't like, well, he kind of faked his way through a rookie year.
No.
This is
He's got the whole package.
You're damn right he does. There's no question. Good
Sean,
point.
what about this? This is interesting. Lions fans are upset at Johnson and Glenn and claim they were distracted by interviews. What is your take? Do you think the league should revert back to no interview until the team is eliminated? Thanks.
Grant, I don't like to sit the fence on many things. It's so weird. I had this conversation on my show last week before the talk was Bobby Slowick had an interview like on Wednesday during the week before the playoff game. Do I begrudge these coaches for, hey, every assistant coach has what? Win, be great, and then have the goal to be a head coach. So I get it, and the rules were set up for them to allow them to interview. So am I blaming it on them? No. But I brought the question up. I'm thinking, how can it not be a distraction? How can it not be? Because when you are all in, you're not thinking about another gig. But if you are interviewing, that time when you could be spending 2 more hours of tape, and sometimes it works for the coach and they go on and win, sometimes it doesn't. So is it coincidental? Is it really a distraction? I watch and I think, okay, if somebody came to me and interviewed me on a Wednesday during the week of a playoff game or on a Zoom call, however you did it, and I'm still got Thursday and Friday to get ready for my game, and then Saturday comes and I'm playing, how can I not? Because you hear Belichick with that 180 page or whatever it is preparation, and you're getting on the board, and you never know when that second interview or third interview is coming. So you want to go on there when people in the media comes out and says, man, he interviewed great. How many times we hear that? Interviewed great or didn't interview great. Interviewed great. So you want to put on that first one to say, man, he came out of the chute. So if you're preparing for that, isn't it using up practice time or your study time for your current team? So it's a slippery slope because you want the guy to have an opportunity. That's why you hire good assistant coaches. But at the expense of the reason you've got to this point, it almost feels to me like a player interviewing in the transfer portal, like you're allowed to interview players in the transfer portal, getting prepared to play their biggest game of their career, but they're going to come back and play, yet they're thinking about the NIL on another team. I don't begrudge them because we'd all do it because of rules. So I'm against it. What I think is after, in the 2-week time period between the AFC Championship game and a Super Bowl game, everybody should be on the same page and turn it into a free agent scramble like you do when it turns midnight in baseball or basketball, when it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon, NFL free agency kicks in. The players do it. So instead of giving the bad team a chance to go get the best coach, that's unfair to the guy who may want to get a chance at a coach that retired or has a better roster or what have you, or a better quarterback. Why not? You give them a certain period of time where everybody has the same go, and private planes are flying around. It's a frenzy, just like the players go through, just like transfer portal. I think it's an unfair advantage, and I think it's a distraction. I can't help but walk into a meeting room when they're talking to me on a Wednesday morning at our meetings, knowing 3 hours later I've got to interview with somebody else, and my number one goal in life, well, I want to win, but I want to run the show. I want to be the head coach. Yeah, I'm against it, and they'll tell you it's not a distraction. I disagree. Anytime you're using up my preparation for the current team, you are distracting my chance to win for the current team. And I don't know if it's coincidental or not, but I can tell you this. Their minds have got to be on the new gig if you want to get it, so you don't miss out on the gig you want. Every single guy that wants to interview Grant, tell me if you and I are, you're my general manager, I'm a head coach, or we're both head coaches or assistant coaches on the same staff.
Yep.
You and I have already talked about who we're going to assemble for our staff.
Yep.
I already have a staff in my mind that if I was going to be a head coach, I can already tell you I got 5 guys I already know who I'm interviewing. I'm talking about me right now.
Yep.
And I ain't in the coaching business. So, as far as a head coach in pro sports or college sports, so there's no way it can't be a distraction. Whether that's the reason you won or lost, who the hell knows? But I can tell you this, it is wrong, and it is 100% true that there has got to be. And one quick comparison. Grant, when I play in football and you run a double reverse pass in game 2 and it works or it doesn't work.
Right.
Do you know what defensive coordinators do 4 weeks later? You are using up their practice time because they're afraid to death of that one play being the reason. So you will literally use up practice time. I've been on teams.
Yeah.
When you go scout team, it's like, hey, let's run that double reverse pass. You're like, dude, they ran 80 plays. They ran one time 9 weeks, one time in 9 weeks. And you're worried that that's the one that's going to get us.
Yep.
So what's it used? It used up practice time, meeting time, and it's a distraction. And then you kind of forget, oh, if we don't stop the run, we're getting our ass kicked. Forget the trick play. So same thing here. I don't buy it. I think that we move it where everybody has a free agent frenzy. And wouldn't that 2 weeks be kind of cool? Where Ben Johnson scramble around, Aaron Glenn and Joe Brady and Bill Belichick, if he was still, Mike Vrabel, let them all be in it and let them get courted like free agents in sports and give them all an equal opportunity. Yeah. And then we'll see. Watch how quickly it moves and how guys make the decision. And if you're a Super Bowl team, you're not changing coaches anyway. But if you're a coordinator, they still get the first week of that preparation to go interview. The second week you're leading up to the Super Bowl game and you're in the city. Give them a 3-day window if you're on the current championship teams that are going to go on and you want to be a head coach. We have got to change that. It's unfair, it's wrong, and it's unfair to the team that has busted their ass all year long for you to turn their back. Even though you say you're not, you're using up your time to go study for somebody else.
Josh Allen, no question about his talent. I was asked the other day what I thought was the difference in him this year, and I said very simply, he's taking care of the football. I mean, he does everything, right? Do you see that as the biggest difference in Josh Allen? I mean, I don't know if he can play better than he's playing right now.
No, 100%, Grant. And it also, in the red zone, he's not throwing it to the other team like he did 2 years ago.
Yep.
He is making sure, and if it's not there, the guy's making smart decisions, throwing it out of the back of the end zone or taking off and running. Hell, I mean, he'll get – at one point, you'll give him 10 carries in a row. I mean, 10 carries in a half where he just – that power – the quarterback power, what have you, he has become, and that's part of the process, even though he's 6 years or so into his career, that's part of the process of just seeing things. His physical skills have never been in question. Now he's maximizing them and efficient with them. And I think he's also, even though he plays like he dresses in a phone booth, have you noticed that the ball gets to a lot of different people? He's not playing desperate that he has to be a hero. And in the process, he's becoming one. I know Lamar's had a great year. Saquon Barkley, Burrow's had a magnificent year, but Josh Allen has to take no back seat to anybody when it comes to what kind of season did you have? And let's face facts. They cannot go into Kansas City. He's going to have to play like Superman again, but you will always be in every game if you do two things.
Yep.
Control the line of scrimmage and and don't turn the ball over to the other team. And they've done a great job of doing that. He's as gifted as any player on the planet. He's the closest thing I've seen talent-wise with his feet, arm strength, all that. And he's become accurate with the football to John Elway. And he's got better straight line speed than Elway does. He's magnificent talent.
Let's hope that we're not going to see the same type of officiating regarding the hits on Patrick Mahomes. I can't even imagine what your show was like and the fans in Houston. That's just, to me, still unbelievable how those were called penalties.
It was the biggest chatter on my show all week long, and still is. And the crazy thing about it is, while that aided in losing the game, you gave up 8 sacks. You let Kelsey have the 3 things you could not do in this game against the Chiefs on the road.
Yep.
You let Kelsey have nobody pressure him at the line of scrimmage. He got free run for 8 to 10 yards, and then you tried to pick him up, which now you're just playing into his strength. That's like giving Tiger Woods a putt into the Grand Canyon and hope he makes it at Augusta. It's just dumb. That's 1. 2 is they gave up 8 sacks, which is humiliating, and their offensive line is a detriment to their football team. And 3, you got your ass kicked in special teams. Those were the reasons you lost, but it's heightened when you get a couple drives extended, and they did with Mahomes. Listen, I don't want to diminish. The Texans lost because Kansas City makes situation. Texans dominated them in the statistical category the whole game. And the Texans' defense is nasty as hell. Grant, they are good, man, and they are going to be good. But it's the situational football, the big run after the catch, the missed field goal, the push on the extra point, the opening kickoff for 65 yards to give away 3 quick points. Yep. The Texans don't play great situational football, yet they've got a good team. But you can't do that in Kansas City. Everything's got to go well. So those are the reasons they lost. But I'm going to tell you, and it's not to diminish, I love Andy Reid. He's easy to root for. The Chiefs become the villain because of all this and all the, this Taylor Swift, the things that bother people. But I can tell you this, that you can make no mistake about it. As good as Mahomes is, and he's the best winner in team sports right now, period. He just is. And he's fantastic. But he gets calls that they say, well, the superstars are supposed to get calls. Bullshit. They're supposed to get the same calls everybody else. I know the reality is they Jordan and Bird and Matt, they're going to get calls, but Mahomes doesn't deserve any more call than Chad Henne did when he came into the game.
I agree.
But
100%.
A rule's a rule.
That's
it's
right.
Goaltending's goaltending.
Uh-huh.
An offensive foul's an offensive foul. Personal foul. They were guessing. It's embarrassing. We're losing integrity of it. It doesn't mean that they'd have lost the game if they don't make those two calls or that we're diminishing Kansas City's domination, because they are still the best team until somebody shows me different. But that being said, there's a couple 2 to 3 plays a game where as you go in there, you know you're fighting against 12 people. Kansas City Chiefs know it. Fans know it. We all know it. And you got to overcome that to beat them. Yet if you're so worried about that, guess what happens? They do the other shit better than you do, and they end up beating you, which if Buffalo does it and gets 2 personal foul calls and they get focused on that, they will get beat again in Kansas City because they're the best situational football team in the world, the Chiefs are.
Who do you think goes to the Super Bowl, Sean?
Listen, Graham, my heart, I guess the fatigue of Kansas City, even though I love Andy and the way they play, I do. We all want to be like that, but the fatigue of Kansas City makes me, and I've been, back when I played Buffalo, went to 4 Super Bowls and didn't win one. The fan base, and I'm not going to say they deserve one. That's when I hear somebody, well, that guy deserves a Super Bowl ring. Well, he deserves a Super Bowl ring when they win it and they earn it. Right. That's my favorite. Well, Karl Malone and John Stockton deserves a Steve Largent. Yeah, I was on a team. So did I. Okay, we deserve one. You deserve one when you win it. You don't deserve it when you get your ass kicked. Okay, so no, you don't deserve it until somebody hands you one. It'd be nice until you go earn it. So my heart's with Buffalo. This may be the year they can go in there the way Allen's playing, but I'm keeping a close eye on some of the little things like a 3rd and 1 call. If they can get off the field a couple of times and not let Kansas City stay within a touchdown, maybe extend it where it's a 2-score game to where if Mahomes gets it, his touchdown doesn't mean shit at the end of the game.
Yeah.
Kansas City is the easy pick. Give me Buffalo in the game to go to the Super Bowl. And in the other one, listen, is the Philadelphia advantage at home. But I'm going to tell you, I think that game's a 1-score. I think both of these may be last quarter games. Philadelphia and Kansas City's the easy pick. So let me go the other way. Give me Washington and Buffalo in this one just for a change-up. How's that? I had Cincinnati and Detroit at the beginning of the year, so I don't have anybody in the game now. So
final thing, we just saw a new college football playoff system, and I had a couple of issues with it. But I got to tell you, by the time we got to the championship game, and I know you are Mr. College Football more so than I am. I like it, but I'm not. It's not my religion like it is for you.
Right.
I almost didn't have the interest. It was just, it went too long. I mean, I got to wait all the way until the 3rd week of January to watch the national championship game of college football. It's too long for me.
Yep, you are 100% correct. I felt the same way. And my love for college football and college hoops, like the college basketball tournament I love because we just go one day. We're playing and we're getting going in the weekend and all the games we come back. We're not waiting. I mean, we're crowning a champion a month later, but we got games all the time. And we're in there. It's fluid. This wasn't fluid. It was fluid at first. You're playing, and I love the system where you can lose a game. Well, look at Ohio State. We had them left for dead and Ryan Day fired after Michigan.
Yep.
They come back, play their best football in the postseason, and they kick people's ass up and down the field every week. They're the most talented team in the country. The best team won. They are the most gifted team in the country. They made more plays. So that's no excuse. And we had 2 blue blood teams in it. But I'm with you, Grant. I'm like, it got to the point with the inauguration, with the new year, with playoffs. It literally got to the point where it was like, I know some people said, "Oh, that's right, the game's tonight. Why we play them all on Saturdays and stuff during the year?" And then all of a sudden, we want to throw a Monday night game on in January when football playoffs are in the heat of everything that's going on in the NFL. If we want it standalone, make it standalone. I don't mind a little time, but it felt like that we'd been a month off. I know it wasn't that long, but it felt like it. And I think the buzz went away. Now, it means a lot to Ohio State and Notre Dame. I know that.
Sure, of course.
And I watched every snap. But it took pizzazz away. They've got to change 2 things. The seeding has to change to the best teams, as we've talked about. We've got to put this game at a night when it's not New Year's Eve for that, and it's where people are out partying. And 2 is when it's a game when it's like still fresh in our mind, and the players don't need to wait that long. Yeah, wait too long. We got to get it done sooner. That has to change. It lost too much of its luster with 2 blue blood teams. It deserved better and it deserved more.
All right, don't fall and break your ass on the ice and the snow. You hang in there, okay? And thank you.
My brother, I ain't getting my ass off the couch the rest of the night. So there you go. Little bourbon and some TV, my man. I'm in. Have a good one.
All right. Take care, buddy.
Appreciate you,
Bye-bye.
brother. Thank you.
All right. Good stuff with Sean Salisbury. Don't forget, coming up at the top of the hour, our weekly Kings Roundtable. All right. That's coming up here at 4:00 Pacific. Love Sean. He is freaking awesome, man. Oh, just absolutely love him. So again, we'll be with you in just a little bit. What time is it right now? It is 3:25. So 35 minutes. We'll do it again. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.